Good morning, children. Lesson 6, The 100 Dresses Part 2 is going on. In our previous discussion, we had discussed that the class was circling the room. A notice from the principal's office came. Miss Mason read it and clapped her hands. She announced that she had a letter from Wanda's father. She would read that before the class. Miss Mason got ready to read the letter. All the students also got ready to listen. Wanda's father wrote in the letter. He wrote that Wanda and Jake would not come to the school anymore. They were moving away to a big city. No more silly jokes. No more funny names. After that, there was a deep silence. Miss Mason understood. She told that no one will hurt anyone's feelings. It was because his or her name was long. What had happened was bad. She asked them to think about that. Maddie could not put her mind to work even in the first period. It was true that she never enjoyed Peggy's asking Wanda about 100 dresses. She had said nothing. She stood silently. But that was also bad. She was a coward. Peggy never thought that they were mean. Dear children, today we are going to discuss the lesson on page number 75. Open the page. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended casualness. Casualness means carelessness. Hey, let us go and see if that kid has left town or not. Can you imagine who is that kid? Yes, that kid is Wanda Petronsky. So Peggy had the same idea. Maddie glowed, means got hopeful. Peg was really all right. The two girls hurried out of the building up the street toward Boggin's Height. The part of town that wore such a forbidding air on this kind of a November afternoon, drizzly, damp and dismal. Dear children, what is forbidding? Forbidding is very bad. So, what do you mean by damp and dismal? That is wet and sad, but here expressing a state of hopelessness. Well, at least, said Peggy gruffly. Gruffly is roughly. I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb and gee, look how she can draw. Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry they had picked on her and how wonderful the whole school thought she was. And please not to move away and everybody would be nice. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. I think that is where the Petronsky live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass, means pieces of old grass, stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. The house and its sparse little yard. Sparse is little yard looked shabby. Shabby means dirty but clean. It reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress. Her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. There was not a sign of little, sorry, there was not a sign of life about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the back yard and knocked there. Still, there was no answer. There was no doubt about it. The Patronuskis were gone. How could they ever amends? Make amends means to show that one is sorry by doing something good. They turned slowly and made their way back down the hill. Dear children, can you answer my questions? Who went to Wanda's house? Very simple question. Peggy and Maddie went to Wanda's house. How did Wanda's house look? Wanda's house looked shabby, means dirty but clean. What did Maddie think of when she looked at Wanda's house? Maddie thought of Wanda's faded blue cotton dress. Can you tell me the word which is there in the passage, which means dirty? Just I have told you the word is shabby. SHABBY. You should know that this passage is important for you in your examination. Such kind of passages are given to you for comprehension. So you should be careful when you read the lesson. Well, anyway, said Peggy, she has gone now. So what can we do? Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. She might not even have won the contest otherwise. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. But that night she could not get to sleep. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in, and she thought of the glowing pictures. Glowing picture means beautiful picture. Those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought this was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, after a long time, she reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone, the meaning is there. Picking on someone means treating someone unkindly, unfairly, criticizing them. Now, if she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up, even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. Dear children, can you answer my questions? Why did Maddie think deeply? Maddie thought deeply because teasing Wanda got on her nerves. She did not want Peggy to tease Wanda. My second question to you: at what important decision did Mehdi reach? Mehdi reached an important decision that henceforth she was not going to stand any teasing of anybody by anybody. My third question to you: what risk was she prepared to take? She was prepared to take the risk of losing Peggy's friendship. This was the risk. Can you trace a word from the passage which means decision? That is conclusion. Remember this. Now, there are some questions in the text for oral comprehension check. What excuses does Peggy think of for her behavior and why? This is a question before you. Now you have to answer. Think about the question. What excuses does Peggy think of for her behavior and why? Peggy thinks of that she did not call her a foreigner. She also did not make fun of her name. She thought that Wanda was too dumb. She never thought that she could know that they were mocking at her. You can see question number 2. What are Maddie's thoughts as they go to Boggin Heights? Can you remember Boggin Heights? This is the place where Wanda Patronsky lived. See this question again. What are Maddie's thoughts as they go to Boggin Heights? Maddie hoped that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry. The whole school thought that she was just wonderful. All would be nice to her. She should not move away from there. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice to her. This was a change of mind. About Wanda Petronsky. You can see such kind of a change in Maddie and Peggy. third question is there for you. Why does Wanda's house remind Medi of Wanda's blue dress? Wanda's house reminds Medi of Wanda's blue dress because both look similar. When Medi goes there, she finds the house shabby but clean. So was Wanda's faded blue cotton dress. There was a similarity between both. Question number 4 is there for you. What does Medi think hard about? What important decision does he come to? Just I had told you the meaning of decision. This is conclusion. She decided not to stand by anymore and say nothing again. She would speak up if she heard anybody speaking badly or treating others unkindly. She would not mind losing Peggy's friendship for that. She decided never to make anybody unhappy. Dear children, I would like to suggest you read this part again and again. With understanding. You should develop a reading habit by reading again and again the lesson. This is our aim, that you should develop your reading habit. But always remember, reading with understanding will be very beneficial to you. Try to write the answers of these questions. I think you can do. We shall discuss the remaining part of this lesson in our next periods. Thank you, children.